Hello, hi Fluffy. Welcome. I'm doing well, and you? How are you? I came from my rheumatologist today, so my lupus has been acting up. So I do have to get on the medication again, which I hate. I hate to take pills. I hate that medication specifically. So yeah, I have to get again on those. So yeah, I will have to get like an extra job, besides my job, I will have to get a third job, because at least here the cost of the medicines are really high, especially in the ones that I have to take. That I believe they are for rheumatitis. I don't know how you say it in English. I just said it in Spanish. But yeah. No, I'm not in pain, but I have been having, a lot of infections. Like, that usually, I mention them, every once in a while in the live stream, how it happened to my eye, and sometimes, I have issues in my gums, on my teeth. Every once in a while, I do have a lot of like inflammations, and I have also issues with my liver. I don't know if I have a fatty liver, but I may be on the way. So she also was, paying attention to the liver. She was like, why is what are you doing? Why is your liver like that? And, and actually, like, I had been, trying to cut, sugar, and not so much sugar, because I had been eating like pastries, like, because I cheated, because, these days we had been having a very, like, colder days, autumn is here. So I had really wanted to, eat more pastry and sweet things. So yeah, I did cheat. But yeah, when it comes to maybe, not having, sugar drinks like soda or alcohol or all those things, I am taking care of that. I'm not, consuming those things. But it seems like, it's like the, in the, um, in the blood test, the levels that they measure things is very low. It's not that I'm not okay, but some are very low. Like my immune system is a bit low. It's a bit low in those measures. So she wants me to go back to the medication. Maybe it's just to prevent, but yeah, I have to go back. I cannot, just go without them. I cannot just like postpone it and be like, well, we will try, I don't know, a diet. No, this is, serious. I heard for liver gluten could be the thing to cut. My dad has an autoimmune disease that affects his liver. Yeah, for lupus, it's also the same. This is why she's a bit worried, about that. She's like, if it was another organ, she would be like, okay. But when it comes to the liver, you have to be careful. You have to be careful. So yeah, I'm going to get on those. I hate it. Honestly, it's not what I wanted to hear. But it's so interesting because I'm seeing this doctor is like new to me, because I'm going to a different clinic now. And I was talking to her, we were talking about life and everything. And she was like, well, you do look okay, like like if you see me like in personality or maybe in behavior, I'm not, I'm not someone that you see me and you're like, wow, you are in pain, or you may be, suffering. Like, no, not at all. Thank God, I'm okay. But with the immune disease things, everything is very internal. And even if you look your best or if you look normal, there's a lot of things that are functioning here, and also with blood, it's the same, circulation, bones, everything. So, and also I'm not getting any younger. That's the reality. Maybe in my 20s, I was able to, somehow be a bit more like careless. Like I will be like, well, whatever, I will not do this. But I think that now, I have to be more responsible. And this doctor, she is, we were talking, and she was like giving me, really good, like, life advices, I would say, because she was talking about her life experiences. Like we were trying to, mirror each other's experiences. And she was like, you have to see this that is happening to you like a sort of like a bridge to build a better future, or a different future, instead of looking back or looking at your past and being like, oh, what originated this disease, or this illness. Somehow like focus on the now, like, okay, it's happening like this, okay, like where do we go from here, and I actually did like that. I also see it like this. it's just that, I was going back. I was talking about my past because she asked me, how I got into, because I have been having lupus ever since I was like 14. So this is not a new diagnosis. But we're talking about emotions and things, and she happened to be a Scorpio, a Scorpio woman. So I kind of knew she was a Scorpio because she was very, she's like very direct. I noticed by the way she was, talking to me about things, about like, yeah, I know that you have this condition, but it's not that she was like, well, it's not that serious what you have. But she was like, it's like, you can move on, like you can do something about this. It's not like I'm dying, like, but there was something very clear and like no BS about her. Like I was like, yeah, I understand what you mean. Like I share the same philosophy. It's just that, she took me back to the beginning, so I was talking about that, but yeah, I'm someone that I also believe, that it's everything is like a manifestation of, it's like the panorama is more like it's showing you where to go from here. It's not to punish you or to make things difficult. Yes, you have to make certain decisions, especially when we're talking about health, health issues. You cannot fool around with that, with, especially with autoimmune diseases. I know that people sometimes they take it for granted. There's people, especially when you're very young and you're like, well, I want to live like everyone else. And then you realize that, I don't know, you're missing a kidney, because this is something that I also, the moments that I wasn't on medication and I was just living a normal life, I was doing this, but I never stopped, like, oh, I don't have that disease. No, I would always think about that I'm not like the rest, even if there's things that I want to do, like go out in the sun and just, go and just go to the beach, go to, and just go out in the sun and get tanned and just, be like this. I knew I shouldn't, when I was like, you shouldn't. You should lower your exposure to sun. And also about, certain meals and certain, certain food that I would notice that it would irritate my stomach or something like this. Like I would avoid. Like I would be like, my body's telling me that this is not okay. Yeah, they do. I mean, I think that it takes a while. The first weeks, I believe, is very uncomfortable, especially because I feel a bit like it's not that good. But I don't know about now. Let's see how it develops now. Yeah, my dad has been on meds for more than 10 years even. And every time they do tests or whatnot to see if he can do without the treatment, but so far it hasn't happened. Yeah, I know. Yeah, with me it's the same, Fluffy. Honestly, when I when I went to this new doctor, I knew. She was like, well, I'm not sure. Maybe you don't have it. She was like, let's see. Let's do the blood test, because, she was like, I look at you and I don't see that you have it. But I was like, I do have it. But when um, um, every time I go to the doctor, it's never a good news for me. It's never like, when they do this, then when they run this test, and it's never like, well, you're normal, or the ranges, the numbers, the measures are okay-ish, like you can go home, you're good to go. For me, it's always complex. It's like, well, let's do another test. Well, come and see me again. Well, it's never like, well, don't worry about it. No, it's like you have to continue coming and you have to continue doing this. But yeah, we have to be patient. The reality is like this, What annoys me the most is honestly the price of the medication that it's in I don't have insurance at the moment because, I'm working, but, at the school where I'm working, I'm a sort of like freelancer. So I'm hired, but, I don't have health insurance. I will have to hire one on my own. I mean, I do have one, but it doesn't cover that much, so I will have to get a new one. But yeah, thank you, Toro season. New life, new me. Thank you, Uranus in Gemini. I knew this was going to come. I knew it, Fluffy. I felt it into my bones. They were like, yeah, you need to know. You need to get information. You need to get updated. You need to go get checked, go to see your doctor. But well, I take it. I'm appreciating the work of, the people that knows about this, and I'm going to do my part, of course. It's just that there's something about when you when you deal with a disease for so many years, it's like it is a bit draining, it's a bit tiring, like, oh no, not this again, oh no, it's like it never ends, and it will never end, because it's chronic. It's chronic. But yeah, let's make it work. Let's make it work. But this new doctor, she, I like her, not just because I just found out that she is a Scorpio. It's just that there's something just very, like, something like very harsh about her. Like, yeah, it is what it is, but at the same time, it's comforting, like in the sense that you have to go through this. And you have to transform yourself, and it's okay. You're not going to die. Like, you have to go through this. Definitely, that's a good way to see things. A new perspective matters a lot too. Yeah. The Taurus is it's a tough situation. Yes. Yeah. It took me a while to get, a doctor that I can trust, because I had very unpleasant experience with other professionals. They were very, very harsh on me. I remember I had one doctor that she would demand like not the craziest, because I knew that, in her profession, she knows why she's asking certain things, but I was having a job. I was at a job where, my shifts, my, the hours I will go to work, they were, I don't know how you call it. In here in Spanish, we call it like rotative. Like, I don't know how you say it in English, but it's like your shift at your work is never the same. It rotates, it changes. One day you can be at the morning shift, and then in the other, the next day you can be, in the closing shift, where you have to be. I remember I had to be in there until 10 to 11 p.m. Until the store closed. So I was working a lot, I barely had time, just to rest. And I barely had time to go and see her. And she would always, be very like harsh. Every time I would see her, it seems like she wasn't in a good mood, like personally. And I would notice how she would be like, well, did you get me this that I wanted to see? And I swear that I felt like I was being scolded, all the time. And I think that when you go to the doctor, you're not supposed to be feeling like this, because it's not that I'm here because I'm having fun. I'm here because I have this condition, or I have this situation with my body. Can you please be nicer? So, but yeah, you do encounter a lot of people. Like, I understand we are all adults. So, it's not about you, babying the person and be like, oh, come here, baby, everything's going to be okay. No, but maybe show a bit much more of empathy, because it's it's like the benefits of having a good insurance. It sometimes, especially if you have to work, you have to work long hours, or you have to work at a very demanding and challenging place, in order to get this good medical care. Unless you are a millionaire, or you are, someone that you just pay for the best and you have it because you heritated it. I think that in the case of most people, it's not like that. You have to work a lot, and especially when you are in the industry where people are always getting fired, or there's like there's a lot of threats to the stability of your work, and it's very competitive. So, even when you want to, ask permission to go to the doctor or to a doctor's appointment, they make it difficult for you. They make it difficult. It's like you have to find a way, because they are not going to give it to you. So now, I'm kind of, I'm having the freedom to manage my schedule a bit. Now it's like I don't have the same, health insurance quality, I would say. But I do have the time to go and see the doctor now. So I don't know what, I don't know. Sometimes you cannot win, you cannot win. You have the time, but you don't have the resources, Yes. 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 It's already a pain. Yes. Yes. Yeah. But well, it's good to know that there's people that they are different, Yeah, the other day at my job, a woman was talking with the supervisor, asking for a day because she has an appointment for her ear. Yes. The supervisor was being difficult. Yeah. That's a reality. There's a reality of a lot of people that you work, but you don't have time to go to the doctor, or probably it's been a while. It's been a while since you go and get your checkups. Um, for me, honestly, what I can say of those years that I was super busy and I had crazy schedules is that I was so busy that I didn't have the time to feel if there was something wrong with me, because I was always running. I was always going places. I was always doing something. So, the only thing that I would aspire is to go home and just sleep for a few hours, and then I would have to come back. So I don't know if that's also part of, I don't know, like, I think that there's something, in my case, I feel it, there's something about movement and being active, that it's not about me feeling better, but honestly, I kind of do feel more energized. Like, and I think that every time I'm working in my house, or I have to be at a meeting online, and I have to be seated a lot of hours, or I have to be, behind the desk, I get really tired. I get like, I don't know, I feel like I'm losing my energy, like somehow my energy is leaving my body. And I don't know, I think that there's something about my body wanting action, wanting to keep being, going, or being standing, or going places, or just like, going up the stairs, going down the stairs, and carrying heavy boxes, or I think that there's something about my body needing that, and but somehow also is giving me a lot of stress. So it's like, yeah, I think that it's good to be active in my case, but the stress that has also is not for me. It's like my mind is like, no, you shouldn't do that to yourself. But I guess I'm addicted to movement. I'm addicted to always be ready, it's in case something happens, and I'm used to working like that, as if I was like a fireman. Hey, Chachalino. It is, yeah, it's not like she could have picked the day for her medical appointment. Yeah, it's like you know, you don't choose it. Sometimes, it just happens. And also, sometimes it takes a while for them to give you the appointment. It depends on the specialty, but it's really difficult. It's really difficult. Oh, I'm so bad at yoga. Every time I do yoga, I end up hurting myself. I'm like, oh no. Mm. Oh, that's cool. You walk on the treadmill. Yeah, I'm doing my morning walks and I love it. I'm loving it. I don't know how it will go when the days get colder, because I usually go before 8 a.m. And now it's getting colder. It's getting really hard to get out at that time, especially because it's dark. So, I don't know. I will have to go afterwards. I will have to change the time. But I don't know. I think that I like to be busy. I like to be productive. I think that that's what I miss the most. And I miss talking to people, like talking to people. Like at school, I do talk to people. I do talk to teenagers. I do talk to a lot of them. But I don't know. I'm more like a business person. I think that my mind is already set like this, and um, I don't know. Maybe I'm more like missing having like a more creative kind of work. Like a role where I was like surrounded by beautiful things, or um, like campaigns of new products, and it was always excited when a season would change because there would come new products, and everything was so fancy like that. Um, I guess I miss the beauty industry. I guess I miss the beauty industry. Yes, maybe I do miss it a bit. I was looking at, that in China, at least, I don't know if Puma here, or in other parts, if they are also like showing, or they are sponsoring this Chinese actor, Shan Ha, the actor of Pursuit of Jade. Because I know he had a campaign with them, so his picture is all over the store. Is he? I think that he's like promoting like a sort of a sportswear, and then I believe he does have a pair of shoes, a pair of sneakers that are designed, with his image. And I was looking at it, and I was like, oh, I miss the that part of the industry, because if I was working with them, I would get all the Shanling Ha posters. Please give me a Shanling Ha poster. I don't know if they have it in Argentina. I have no idea. I will have to go and check. I don't think so. But I remember when I used to work for Puma, they had BTS. They had when BTS was like they choose. It's not that they just started, but they were starting to be, more like announced on like worldwide. I think that it was in Blood, Sweat and Tears era because all of them had dark hair in that campaign. And then I believe when I was working with skincare, I also saw for Aven, I also saw the voice Hyun Hae. He was in sort of pamphlet. He was also promoting. I couldn't take that home because they wouldn't let me. Actually, like I had a friend that she would specifically work for Aven because I would be working with a lot of skincare brands. Aven was one of them, but she was she was only working for them. So every time there would be like a sale or something, she would appear. And I remember I asked her, please, can you get me anything with his face? And she was like, do you like these Chinese boys? And I was like, he's not Chinese, first of all. But yes, thank you. They don't get it. There's people that don't get it here in my country. They find it very strange. But yeah. It's easy and makes me feel good, especially during the winter of bad weather. Yeah, also like you are doing something productive, yes, and also watching what you like, yes. Um, Push-ups. Squats while do brushing my teeth. Oh, you're so efficient, Fluffy. You are trying to maximize, like you're trying to make the most of your time. I love it. I get bored easily, so I just put on some workout videos from YouTube and do them. I've been in Hyunjae. Yes. I was getting today on TikTok. I was watching a lot of um, um, a lot of clips of their concert that H Wall was I don't remember his real name, but yeah, the former member of the Boys, the first one that left, H Wall, I believe it's how it's pronounced, and he was in the concert and he was like taking pictures with the guys and the fans were so happy. I wish the best for the boys. Please make this be their year, please, because poor guys. I feel so bad for Haknyeon. Now that they are finally leaving, like what they did to his image, they could have handled this differently. They destroy his his image basically by not defending him. So I hope that if he's still in a in a trial with them, I hope he takes everything away from them because I cannot believe they just ruined that man's career. Yes. So anyway, what was it about San Minha? No, that he's a part of a campaign of Puma as well. I believe there's sneakers that he's promoting that are really cool. I like the style. I would buy them. Um, and I believe it's sportswear as well. Um, I'm becoming one of these people, Fluffy. I'm obsessed with Shan Linha. It was my friend's fault, honestly. She dragged me into this, because she started tagging me with everything that it was Pursuit of Jade related. So definitely it was all close-ups of his face and all interviews of him and all my For You page is everything, Shan Linha. So even though I cannot tell you, like I love him or that, I'm obsessed with him. No, but at the same time, I don't mind that he's showing up. Like I like what I see. I like him, and I'm kind of like I'm missing their characters. I'm missing both of them, of Pursuit of Jade, and I'm not finding any kind of C drama, K drama that has the same impact like these two. But yeah, I'm a fan of Sunny Ka now. now. And I'm sort of waiting to see what he's going to do next. What is he going to release? My friend, she was a Jan Lin-ha fan before Pursuit of Jade, because she was like always like, you have to watch the best thing. You have to watch the best thing. You're going to love the best thing, because I'm not romantic. I'm not into romantic C drama nor K drama. You know how I am. But she was like, the best thing is differently, because it's more like an adult, in an adult kind of world romance, and also it's very slow paced, and also there was a lot of Chinese medicine. So she was like, you're going to enjoy it, see, and you're going to like the atmosphere. And she was right. The best thing is literally the best thing. Is a great, comforting, very, very nice drama. Every time, like, I just want to disconnect and watch something beautiful, and something that, and a story that, it's not like, oh my God, these two people are fighting to be together. No, it's more like, it's a slow, and everything is it's so peaceful, and he is definitely his character, her character, both of them just very, trying to figure things out, but not being like, oh my God, I'm obsessed with you, or I'm everything takes its time. Yeah, the shoes look cute. Milk tea color, yes. Yes. I have to admit, though, he was filmed beautifully. Yes, in Pursuit of Jade. And there was one scene when I found him really cool, like handsome during a battle scene. Yes. He had his fur coat and holding a spear, if I recall. Yes, it was around mid-season. Yes. He was beautifully like filmed. I think that someone was talking about the director, that usually there's a lot of fans of the director, that they say that he usually films, very like these nice, shots, and everything is so beautiful. And I think that someone said that I believe he has my age. He is, and someone said that he was born in April. So if he is a Taurus, it sort of would make sense. I don't know, maybe he could be an Aries. But if he is like late April Taurus man, it sort of would make sense, that his style of work would be very pleasant, especially about colors and, Oh, thank you. It's yes, yes. I think that that's the thing with with Pursuit of Jade, that I don't, I have this thing that, I don't want to be, harsh now that I'm going to read for female actresses, but there are certain things that I don't continue watching because I don't like the actress, and it's very strange, because it's like I don't it's not that I don't like the actress, like saying, oh, it's the female's lead's fault. No, but I think that there's something about certain duos that, for me at least, when I watch them, I'm like, I don't see this chemistry that this story is supposed to be selling. I don't know. Even if they are like the most beautiful people ever to be together, I just don't buy that they are a couple or that they love each other, or I don't know. And that's why I stopped watching also, because I don't see the chemistry. I don't see it. I don't like, and of course that is not the actress fault or the actor's fault. But sometimes I think that they match them with people that you're like, really, them together? Or their characters, like, it's, and this I also notice in Pursuit of Jade. In Pursuit of Jade, there's a, like, especially after the 30th episode, like, things started, like, the character of Jang-yu changed drastically. It's okay because, she obviously is transforming. She's now in the capital, she's now fighting, she's getting recognition, she's being brave, she's no longer the girl that we meet, from her village, her hometown. So circumstances has changed, there's maturity. But there was a certain attitudes in some of the latest episodes that I was like, why is she so annoying all of a sudden? Like, she wasn't like that, but she would make these reckless decisions that I was like, what? I was like, what? And one thing that I that I said to my friend as we were watching this show, when this girl, what is her name in the show? Well, the actress Kong Suer, that she acts with Denkai, that there's an episode where she asks Chang Yu, the character, she asks her, like, can I borrow your husband so he can pretend to be my husband so I can scare, what was his name? Jimin. So she can scare Jimin away, like somehow be like, no, I'm married now, and well, and I remember when that happened, I was like, I would say no. Like, I was like, I understand that Jangyu, it's all about helping others, and she also, this girl was also helping her, so it was like a win-win situation, and she was finally being, supported and just had a great companion by her side, and another female that would support her, But when she asked her, "Can I borrow your husband?" I was like, no. Like, can you imagine a friend of yours would ask you, like, a friend, an acquaintance, because we just met, and she would ask you, can I borrow your husband? I would be like, no. Even if it's a maid present arranged marriage, my first, like, instinctive answer would be no. That part I was like, maybe it's just me overthinking things, but when I saw it, I was like, are you, what? No. Isn't there another man, like, working for you? Like, why my husband? No. I was like, no. The director's birthday is on April 14. Okay, yeah. So he's an Aries. Okay. Yes. But I'm a Denkai girl 100%. Even if, even the heroines, while I really love Chang Yu, I identify more in Ken Kian, and I wish we'd see more of her. She's a really nice actor. Did you buy the chemistry between Chang Yu and Shazam? For me, they work well when doing normal things like cooking, selling Yeah, they work well when doing normal things. Yes, like cooking and yes. But during kissing scenes, it didn't work partly because her face was too small compared to him, or his face was too big, I guess, but their faces didn't lack or resemblance well. Yeah, it did seem a bit like awkward, like the kissing scenes. I know that they were trying to make it work. Like, I don't know, because I have no idea how I looked, like, kissing with someone that is taller or bigger than me in appearance. But maybe that's the way I would look from an outsider, because I when I would date really tall men, like they were really, there was a lot of height differences. Maybe it looked that awkward from someone that will be watching us, because he will have to lower himself a lot, and and I wouldn't do too much. He would have to do all the work. Actually, he will have to lower himself. So I think that maybe from someone that is looking at it, maybe it looked a bit like not um, aesthetically pleasing, but also is um I think that there was something about maybe the camera, the camera angles, that they wanted to get in the middle of them twisting their heads, and it felt like, Sugar and Zenkai to me looked really well matched physically. Yes, they did match well. Yes. Yeah, physically it was more, yes, I understand what you say. Yes, I agree. I agree. And I also, now talking again from personal experience, when I broke up with one of my boyfriends, that he was very tall, just very tall, one, one of look at my mindset, but I was very young, so I had the right to to think like this, but I would always think about this is my perspective. Now I wouldn't judge, because I'm 40. So now I just want happiness in my life. But I remember when I stopped, being in a relationship with him, I was actually so happy, because finally I was like, I'm going to be able to date someone, that looks normal, normal, because I think that people would always look at us funny, like as if I was his child or his daughter or something like this, because the height and the body difference, it was so much that, well, for me, I didn't see it, because I wasn't aware like of what the others are seeing. But I think that for him, that he was the one, that he was taller, or that he was more like, he would take up more space. So I think that he had to adapt to my little world, to my little experience. And for me, it was like, well, he will make the move, or he will, and I would just be by his side. I never had to accommodate to his height. He would have to lower himself to be with me. So then, and I remember that when I used to buy him clothes, or just wanted to give him something, buy a present, every time I wanted to buy him something, like a t-shirt or something like this, it wouldn't fit, or it wouldn't be, for his size. So I was like, I'm so happy I'm not dating him anymore, because it was difficult. It was difficult. He also was really peculiar. Like, he was like, no, I don't like this kind of clothing, but yeah, on of your size, it's what's available. We are in Argentina, and here there's not a lot of tall people like you. Maybe in America, for example, there's a lot of tall guys. Maybe it's easier for them to get clothing and shoes and everything. But for us here, that our society is very, like, even I would say the men here are usually short, or average looking. So the first thing that I saw, I was celebrating that I wouldn't have to, that I would be able to buy my future partner that I would be able to buy, whatever clothing I wanted to buy them, and not just being pendant on the size. So I think that it's about harmony. Yes, it's about harmony. But I don't know, because then I kept dating tall guys, not as big as him in body proportion, but again, slender, tall. So I guess it's in my destiny. The borrow your husband, I called it. That made me laugh. Honestly, I'm very possessive, but I would have accepted considering the situation. I was like, when she was like trying to, go around the idea, I was like, are you going to ask her what I think that you're going to ask her? And if it was me, I would be no. But well, this is why that's fictional. And there's a door. Close the door from the outside. It's not even height, it's the size and shape of their faces. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I didn't even notice the height difference. It's just she has a short chin, a small face, compared he has a longer face. Yes. Yeah, I remember you posted your Taurus ex and said he was too short for you. He wasn't even that short. Yeah, he was short. He was short, Fluffy. Well, according to what I know, but yeah, he was short. I didn't date him that long. I dated him for a year, and we dated each other because we work in the same place. He's really cool, but not my type. Not my type. I think that he was very fun to be around, but not like deep, But yeah, he was very short. He was very short in comparison. Like I don't look for them. That's why I'm like, I always attracted tall guys, but I never had like the vision. When there's women that they have the vision of like, oh, that's a tall man, or that's like a slender man, that's my type. No, I would just meet them, and I would meet them at parties, or when I would go clubbing, or when I would go out, and we would just start, talking and just like, being in each other's presence. And that's how we started dating. It was mutual, it was cool, but I never, seen them like, oh my God, he's so tall. No. And actually, I think that it was more people noticing and being like, wow, your boyfriend is really tall. And I was like, yeah, but I don't know. I think that I have no perception, or I had no perception of, height or height differences. And I was just like, I like his face. I'm very much about the face, actually. Like, I like pretty eyes. I like people with pretty eyes. Um, you know, um, beautiful smile. That's what I like. Very, nice hair, in the sense that it's decent. It's short. But nowadays I have this thing where I'm like, what is going on? Because I know that it's not about, it's not even about my taste, because I'm 40. So, men that I like are like men that I should be dating, or I should be like observing, that I could be near my age or a bit older. I know that they are going to look, that they're going to have gray hair, or that they are going to be a bit out of shape, because, yeah, we are maturing. But I was noticing as well, the young men, like in their 20s, early 30s. I was like, why are they so unattractive? I think that it's passion. It's like what's trending. But at least the ones that I see on the streets, I was like, oh my God, if and they have a lot of like girls after them, and I was like, you like that guy? He's, I don't know, maybe I have high standards because of all the C drama and K drama that I'm watching. But for me, it's not so much about like being like, oh, because, you know, K dramas, men are, I think that it's about style, you know. I don't know. I think that Latin America is doomed when it comes to styles because, especially for the younger generations, they do copy these soccer players and, you know, these rappers. These, I don't even want to call them rappers because it's not even rap, but it's this singers style that it's so weird looking that, you know, we had an emo phase when I was young, so I cannot say anything about fashion because we also had it, you know, with the black eyeliner and all the crazy things that we used to do to our hair. But I don't know why I'm like, why are they so ugly? Mm. Yeah, shame. I don't really care about height. I prefer the guy to be taller than me. I'm all about the face and build. Mm-hmm. And the eyes. Yes, expressive, beautiful eyes. Yes, I love the eyes as well. It's the first thing that gets my attention. Yeah. Style is not a problem. You can mention that. Yeah, I know. But I'm like, why are people so unattractive these days? Like, I don't know. If I was in my 20s, like with the way the guys are dressing these days, I would be like, no, thank you. Like, I don't know. But I guess it's because I'm more like traditional when it comes to style about guys. You know, I like them to wear, you know, it's not about being basic, but I just want them to have like a sense of, you know, like to be very organized, like in in the way you what you wear, you know, the colors. Or I think that for me it's like, as long as you are like taking care of that your clothing is in good conditions, you know. But well, I don't know. Yes, I don't know. I think that the there's a style here that I don't understand, and this is why I'm getting old. This is because I'm getting old, so I don't understand what is, you know, what is popular. But also, you know, if we think about, for example, maybe this is because we consume Asian culture, you know, that usually, if you notice, like Korean men and even Chinese, like these Chinese influencers or these people that promote brands, they all, you know, it's very fancy, but it's also very, it's not crazy styling that they have. I just cannot get over how how I used to wear the low rise jeans. I just cannot get over that part. The other day I was watching a girl that she was a very young girl, but she was like a model, and she was, you know, trying on a low rise, you know, jeans. Um, and I was like, I cannot believe we used to wear that. Like, really. I remember I had those ones, those ones that came with the strings to the side that you would, you know, you would tie them to the side. It didn't have any buttons on here. It was more to the side. But yeah, I guess that when you are skinny, you just wear. To be honest, I don't like all the Chinese and Korean styling. Depends, but Chinese actors, I noticed they have this big hairstyle. Yeah, I did notice that they do like put a lot of volume on their on their hair, especially this side. And yeah, it makes. I think that maybe it's because for them, like for everyone, like in this industry, for Korean as well, for them to make their head look smaller, they would do anything for that. That makes their forehead look super small. I prefer natural chill style. I don't even like suits much on my. Like if you see the Pursuit of Jade premiere, they all have this hairstyle looks like. Yeah, but also it's like this. Like yes, yeah. It's to make their face look smaller. Yeah. But also, it. The other day I watched a clip. I don't know behind the scenes of. I don't know what actor it was, but suddenly it was very windy outside. So yes, he had this hairstyle, but the wind he put on his hair. It looked like it was going to fall off. And I don't know. And also, they don't have that much volume in their hair. So definitely there is styling. There's a lot of styling in there because they don't have much like hair. Um, I just feel so much envy for people that have few hair, like not so many, because I always struggle with having, a lot of hair, and honestly, is not fancy. It's not fancy at all. For example, now that there's humidity again, my hair today it was so frizzy. It was like this. I swear I tried to, I combed it a lot of times. I used the brush. I was like, okay, okay. But then I would lose a lot of hair as I would brush it. I would lose a lot. So I was like, oh my God, it's so tough. It's so tough being a woman. It's so tough. But I think that the other day I was, listening to a woman that she was like, that usually when people that have a lot of hair, when they complain, it's because they have a lot of hair and it's heavy. It makes your head heavy, and that is true. That is true. I think that people have no idea of how heavy our head feels. Every time I get out of my appointment with my hairdresser, that she of course she uses her brush and air and everything, and my hair comes out looking so shiny and thin. I swear that every time I'm about to leave, I always thank her, and I'm always like, thank you so much. My head feels so much lighter. Thank you so much. Thank you. Like for me, it's more than, oh, look the color. And no, for me, it's like, thank you so much for working on my hair, because it looks like you make it less heavy. And I feel like, it's especially when you tie it, when you do like a bun or a bun, or you tied it, it's so heavy. It's so heavy. It's so heavy for the head. That I think that people don't talk about that much. I thought that it was just my perception, but when this hairdresser, when she said it, I was like, yes, please, thank you for saying it. For all of us, for all us people that we have a lot of hair, how maybe people see it from the outside and they're like, oh, I love it. They always tell me, I love it when you have long hair. Please keep your hair long because it looks better on you. You have no idea how heavy it is. How heavy it is, my hair, and how heavy it is to wash it. So heavy, so heavy, so heavy. Oh, I swear I want to shave my head. Not even kidding. Start a new heavy and hot. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's not like people think that I don't know. I every time I have like shorter hair, I feel like, oh yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. And it's not like, because sometimes people are like, wow, you have a lot of hair, but I do lose a lot of hair as well. Every time I would brush it, I would lose a lot. It's just that you cannot see it, but I do lose a lot. And I do have, a bit of balding in here. It's just that, because in this part you don't see it. I don't know, with it like a bob. Yeah, I remember I had a bob. Actually, that was my favorite uh, haircut that she did for me. That, she cut it very short here and she sort of made it longer this part. I cut it. I remember it was on summer of 2023. Um, Probably I'm going to ask her to do it. It's just that my hair grows really fast. So sometimes, I do show you guys, I'm like, guys, I cut my hair. And then a couple of weeks later, my hair grows. It's like Samara once said. I remember we were chatting and I showed you guys, I did cut my hair a bit, and she was like, I cannot see the difference. She couldn't see the difference because what she does, what my hairdresser does, is that she cuts it short on the back and then a bit longer or a bit, like this to sort of give a shape to my face. So you probably see it from here and you're like, well, it's not like a bob, it's not like that short, but actually short in this side. Yeah, I did. I did have a bob. Then I'm going to show you the picture. I'm going to show you the picture. I loved it too. I loved it. And I think that she did a great job, honestly. I don't know. The last time I did cut it short, I wanted it something similar, but I don't know, she couldn't. When I think that she did that cut, and she probably then, when you don't know how to replicate it, she was like, yeah. But I remember it took me a long time to grow, actually, to grow this part, because she did cut it very short in here and it was longer to the sides. But yeah, probably I will cut it. Yeah. So it's easier for me, especially because, and I have this thing that I cannot stand wet hair. I don't like my hair wet, like touching my skin. I feel so I cannot do it. I feel so like, oh no, I cannot. The sensation, it's so gross for me. It's like wet dog. like no, I cannot. Okay, guys, I'm going to start. Did you see, Fluffy, that Jisoo attended a show? I believe it was in Cannes, or it was related to Cannes. Maybe it was like about, it was about acting, because she got an award. She was at this event, and Ambo Hyun also was in the event. He was also in there promoting. I don't know why he's promoting, because I don't follow his, like, I think that whatever he's, if it's this is like a movie or something like this, I don't think that it premieres, because I don't know the co-star of his. I don't recognize them, so probably it's still about to be premiered. But he was also in there. Yes, that Cannes Film Festival. Oh, you like the dumbness? Oh, well, yeah, that's great then. Yeah, for me, I don't know. I feel so. Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's my kind of hair that whenever it's like damp like this, it creeps me out a bit. Like, I don't know. Maybe it absorbs a lot of, and it's just not comfortable to feel it. I feel like, oh, every time it touches my skin, I'm like. She was looking so pretty, like a princess. She's so beautiful. What a beautiful woman she is. Yeah, it's like a sensitivity, like, but I think that is my hair. I think that is my hair. It's my hair texture, when it's wet, that is a bit like, yeah, so pretty. Okay, I'm going to start with the readings for the actresses. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to start with IU. Let's see, for IU for 2026. Let's see. Yeah, a year about commanding. She got the emperor, so there's something about her taking the lead. We have, for IU, we have the Two of Pentacles, we have the King of Swords, we have the Seven of Cups, we have the Five of Wands, and then we have the Page of Pentacles. Yeah, and then we have the Emperor, that it says take up space. Take up space. I think that I wonder if this is the actor. I wonder if this. I see the Two of Pentacles, and I wonder if this is what is his name? I always Beyond Woodstock. I was forgetting all that. Because I think that she is. There's something about. I think that he's giving me that is him, and I think that this was something that she was feeling like at the beginning of the project, maybe, or when they started working, that probably, even when she had to decide, like, okay, do I work with him or not, she was a bit hesitant about it. I think that she definitely sees the value in him. We have the King of Swords, so definitely, someone that is very intelligent and everything, or that has everything, to be a success. But I think that probably initially she was a bit hesitant to work with someone like him. With the Two of Pentacles, it's like maybe it's him, or maybe it's the director. It's a man of the industry that she was like, I'm not sure if this is going to go very well. Honestly, I'm not sure. I'm a bit like, okay, I will do my part, but yeah, I'm not sure about this person. I'm not sure if your idea can be fulfilled, or it is going to come out the way you think it's going to come out. Her being like, well, I will do my part, I will do what I have to do, but I'm not sure. Like, I'm not sure if the outcome is going to be like you say. So yeah, she was like, do I work with this person or not? If this is not the actor, I think that it could be the director. Her somehow not being sure of his ideas. Being like, yeah, it's not bad, but also it's not that well executed. Like something like, yeah, it's like it looks good in paper, but I don't know. you know or probably she said yes because of him, because of the actor, because he's actually very influential. But I think that there was something about this work that is not, she wasn't 100% sure that, okay, this is great. And being the king of swords, it could be someone's ideas, that she heard someone's ideas and she's like, really, you want to pull this off? Like, I don't know, whatever you say, but I'm not sure. Just that this year, I think that honestly, I use perspective, her, also her, her, probably her work, or her, her presence in the industry, or being active, is going to be a bit of a lot of things. The Seven of Cups, it's actually her having a lot of desires, fantasies, a lot of visions of what she wants to accomplish, or what she wants to do. But there's also a bit of the Lulu. Also, there's a bit of the Lulu with the Seven of Cups. It could be that maybe you will say yes to projects or collaborations that you could be like, with who, or what is it that you want to do? Because I think that she's not sure herself. She just knows that she has a lot of ideas, and she has a lot of, like, fantasies, like, or a lot of visions, like, oh, I want to create this, and then I'm going to go and work with this person, and then I'm going to go and work with this. But there's not a stability, or there's not like a sense of like, I'm 100% sure that this is, I don't know, this is something that resonates strongly in me, and this is going to be part of my identity. No, I think that this is about her, being creative, trying to, have different experiences, probably, working with different people, working with different styles, but not, it's not that deep. So I think that people shouldn't, if there's something about her future works that maybe, if there's criticism, or if there's people that they're like, what is this? Like, if you're a fan, just don't pay attention to that, because she's also like, visualizing this year, about what she wants to do. And I think that she just wants to have fun, I guess. The Seven of Cups is also about fantasies, like, like playing pretend, like saying like, okay, what if we do this? Or what if we did do this crazy thing, or this crazy concept, or no one expected me to do this, so I will go and do this, even if things are very unstable. And if you are like, but what's the purpose of this? And she's like, I have no idea neither why I'm doing what I'm doing. So also, don't get fixated on trying to find like a meaning in what she's doing, because she's like, she's trying different possibilities. She's trying different possibilities, and that's it. She's playing with possibilities. She's also dreaming. She's fantasizing. She's like allowing herself to fantasize, to do things that maybe, in prior years she couldn't do, or there was a lot of like resistances, or she had to fight people. Definitely, I see a lot of like there's, I don't know if there's going to be a conflict with the audience, or I don't think that with the fans, but the 5 of Wands and the Page of Pentacles, it's something about maybe people arguing online. Maybe they do see her with the 7 of Cups and being like, but what are you doing? Like, we don't understand what you're doing. And people fighting, or even people trying to not help her out, or not understanding why she's working the way she's working. And people fighting for her. I can see people fighting online, people fighting for her, because I think that it could be about her, but she's actually not in the middle of the discussion. She's not, paying attention. Actually, people are fighting others, but she's like, I'm going to keep working on my dream. I have a vision, I have an idea, and I want to start working on this. So you will not stop me. I don't care if people agree on this, or if they think that is, I think that she's like, I want to keep working on my vision this year. She doesn't want to follow anyone. She doesn't want to follow anyone's advice nor order. Like, she's like, I'm not listening to anyone this year, but myself. And she's definitely going to start, a new project that probably is going to be very chaotic. People are going to start fighting. I don't know why, but she's somehow like totally like, she's in another atmosphere. She's not going to pay attention to the chaos. She's like, okay, you guys want to fight. You guys want to, generate discussions online. I don't care. I'm just going to keep working. And I'm going to deliver what I want to deliver and how I want it to deliver, And probably it's a very like young project, like young, like in the sense that it's something new, because the Page of Pentacles is giving me like, I still have to rehearsal, or I have to do certain things. But does you have like Pisces placements? Because the 7 of Cups is giving me Pisces energy. Like, I'm in the middle of a fantasy. My life is a fantasy. She's feeling very philosophical even. It's just that, for her, this is fun. She has Pisces moon. Yeah, it feels like this year the Pisces moon is very present. And I think that she's like, she wants to confuse people. She's like, I really want you guys to somehow be like, oh, I can guess where she's going with this. And no, you will not guess it, because she wants to confuse you. She wants to confuse you, definitely. And the Emperor take up space. The Emperor is also this Aries energy, this very daring energy of like, this is my life. I'm going to do with my life what I want to do. And I'm going to still be the queen. I'm going to still be the ruler. I'm going to still be number one. The Emperor is they are not going to ask you for permission to do things. She's going to go and take up space, and people are going to keep talking about her. So she's like, they can say whatever. I'm just going to keep, doing what I want to do. She wants to do something crazy. I don't know. I think that she wants to, like, she wants people to go a bit crazy with like, oh, but what is this? Like, a bit confused, and also playing a bit with people, but I can see people, maybe feeling like they have to fight for her or protect her. And she's like, I don't need anyone to protect me. I'm being an artist. I'm being artistic. And also, she's also looking out for herself. She's like, I'm not attached to any results this year. I'm not attached to any kind of, oh, my reputation, oh, my numbers. What are people going to say about my numbers? She's like, no, this year, no. This year is all about me starting anew and having different projects and coming up with different projects and just still being, the leader in my life and in my career. But at the same time, I think that she wants to try something that it feels a bit, psychedelic, something that feels a bit flashy or a bit fantasizing, that you cannot actually, like, it seems like the shape of the project is very elusive, or it can be a lot of things. Maybe it can be different chapters of a story in different chapters. But I think that she's like, I don't have to defend my art. I am my art, and I'm always changing. And she's so excited for this. She's so excited for everything that she has to show. And there's a lot of work, honestly. There's a lot of work. I see her like finishing something and then starting something new, and then starting another and another and another, and like this. And I think that also there could be people like advising her, like, don't you want to take a break, or don't you want to, do this, at another time? And she's like, no, I want to start right away. I want to start now. Because this is how she wants to do things. It feels very, very like, very hippie-like, very um, like everything is a dream, everything is an illusion. She's feeling so inspired, but by also, like, probably she's connecting really well with these artists that they are very, that they live inside a dream or inside a fantasy. And she's like, that's the concept I want to go for. But there's a lot of work, definitely. The Page of Pentacles is showing her with her usual essence that is like, I always put the work. Nobody is, giving me anything for free. I do the work. I put the work. So she's a very hardworking woman. It's just that maybe this year her vision is going to be very fantastical, so there could be like the birth of a universe, that inside the universe there's a lot of universes, there's other universes, or there's other chapters. And she's like, please guys, follow me. Follow me in this journey. It's going to sound the Lulu, but follow me, because I'm being artistic. And she's having so much fun. She's having so much fun. She's not attached to anything. She's like, I'm an emperor. She has the experience, she has the years. She doesn't have to follow a trend or follow numbers or follow what is popular. She's like, I'm not following anyone, because, I had been there. I had done the work. I had been consistent. I had been, trending as well at some point. Now she wants to do something artistically, something different. Like she wants to blow people's minds, and she's so happy. Yes. Because honestly, guys, at the end, this is why when we have the King of Swords here, that I said, it could be the actor, it could be the director, but at the end, she's like, the one that matters is me. I'm the star. I'm the emperor. I'm the one that matters. Like, thank God, she doesn't need to associate to others, to stay relevant. Like, there's people that, time passes, maybe, I don't know, their popularity, or they, I don't know, lose fans or something like this. But in the case of IU, there's a very strong foundation where the main act, or what is important, is her. It's all about her. No one can take her place or tell her story. She doesn't need a producer, like, oh, come and create this for me so I can sing about this. No, she is the producer herself. So It's all about her, and she wants to go back. The page of Pentacles is also going back to her roots, or maybe going back to starting something new, something, or from zero, something. I'm sorry, guys, if you can hear the sound. I don't know whoever is working at this hour. I'm sorry. Oh my God. It seems like they have like a, I don't know, like a crystal ball. Every time I want to go live, someone starts like using this very noisy, annoying kind of machines always. I don't know about her relationship with him. He never shows. So I guess they are very private. I guess they are very private. Yeah, he's doing okay. He's doing okay. He's very stable. Yeah, he's very stable. Yeah, from her part, we have the Ten of Cups and we have the Two of Pentacles. And from his part, we have the Chariot and we have the Knight of Cups. Could it be he wants to propose? Because he's thinking about the future. We have the King of Cups in the middle, that is his emotional maturity. Could it be that he wants to propose this year? Because I see him advancing with the proposition. A lot of love. I think that the love is felt more this year than prior years, because when I read for them a couple of years ago, or I don't know if it was last year, because I'm always reading for them, but I saw a bit of distance and just different, like him being worried about certain things, and him being specifically her. She was okay. She was in control. But in the case of him, I felt him a bit negative about, I don't know if it's about himself, but now I see him very confident, and he's definitely like, he wants a future with her. He wants to go to the next level with her emotionally. So, I wouldn't be surprised if actually because I think, the relationship, we have the King of Cups, that is his emotional maturity. So definitely see this year they are going to reach this level of emotional maturity, of maybe, coming to an agreement of like, okay, yeah, you make me happy. I am happy. I am fulfilled. I am happy with you. Let's do this. I think that yeah, emotional maturity for a relationship or for a potential marriage is necessary. And also they had been together for a very long time. I guess I don't remember exactly their love story, but yeah, we have the Ten of Cups for her and we have the Two of Pentacles. I think that honestly, the one that hesitates a bit, about, maybe the relationship changing and transforming into something different, or into, a marriage, or into, officializing things like this. I think that she is afraid a bit of this, a bit of like, there's something about the happy endings, that she probably doesn't believe in that. She's like, no, I'm kind of a bit, I'm a bit indecisive about like, okay, I think that there's something about her self-esteem. I don't know about her family life, but I think that for her, the her thinking about happiness and the family and maybe building a family herself, I think that there's something that it feels a bit unsettling about this. She's like, I don't know if I'm made to be married and having a family, because I think that she lacks that experience. Maybe there's something about, I don't think that it's about money, but I think that she's like, what if I'm not strong enough? Or what if I say something and I ruin our happiness? I think that there's something about, I think that he's so ready to propose, so ready, especially this year, but the one that probably is a bit scared of the change and is scared of being happy. Honestly, it's not about I'm scared that you're going to betray me or I'm scared that you're going to hurt me. No, it's more like I'm afraid of being happy. I'm afraid of having my happy ending, because what if besides the happy ending, then there's disappointment at the end. I think that there's a part of her that she doubts, if there's such a thing as being always happy or always fulfilled emotionally, and I think that this is personal of hers. I don't think that this is something that he does something so she feels insecure. No, I think that she has this instability in her, where there's moments where she's like, yeah, I can see myself getting married and having my family, and then there's moments where she's like, I don't know if I would do well. And what if we, when you think about the worst scenario, you're like, but what if we get bored of each other and then we want to break up? And what about the children? I think that she's more like that. She's like, oh, I don't know. But he seems very sweet, very connected to his emotions this year, so probably he can convince her. He can convince her, like, we're ready. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Also, I wonder if they actually could just get married in secret without people knowing. Because I think that also there's something about weddings that she probably doesn't like, about, the exposure, or maybe having to. Does she have issues with her family? Because why do I feel like she's like, I wouldn't invite anyone. Like, I would leave everyone out. I wouldn't invite anyone. Okay, I'm going to continue with the actress Mon Ga Young. Let's see, for Mon Ga Young. Okay, 2 of Wands, the Strength card, 10 of Wands in the middle, we have the 5 of Pentacles, and we have the Chariot. And then I have the 9 of Swords, that it says anxiety. So is this woman okay? I think that this year it feels very heavy for her. It feels very like there's a lot of pressure on her. I wonder if people have high expectations. I think that it has to do with work and with performances, because we do have the ones here. So definitely there's something about, her being active, or her, reaching a level of, I don't know if people are like, we expect you to do better and better, better than other times, or if you had, a very memorable movie or drama, we expect you to keep doing better and become more famous and become more and do more, and they have a lot of expectations on her, and I think that she also has high expectations for herself. She also wants to, keep advancing in choosing projects that can help her, just advance and not get stuck on a specific role. There's something that she fears. It's like she feels like, oh, what about if people don't let go of my past roles, of my past work. But I think that yeah, she seems to be working, and I think that this year is going to be very active. I see a lot of planning. She probably has to wait a bit for some things to be finished. But I think that there's something about work that it doesn't feel that fulfilling this year. I think that if she is, part of a role or something like this, that it has to do with, her activities. The 10 of Wands in the middle lets me know that she probably is the one that has to carry. If this is like a show, she is the one that has to carry the show, or she has to carry the name of a certain brand, or she has to sustain, something that it feels very heavy, a lot of responsibilities, a lot of hard work, a lot of patience. That they ask for a lot of patience from her, because maybe the situation or the work environment is not the best. The conditions are not the best, or maybe there's a lot of problems, in production or something like this, or maybe people not doing their parts. So it feels like she has to come up and somehow save the day or do extra to sustain something. So it feels very challenging. I think that this year it feels like she's doing her part, of course. I see her very busy, but I think that it's not a comfortable project. This is not a year where she's like, well, I'm happy, or I have my co-star, or I have someone by my side that can help me, somehow do this better, or, grow, or learn a new tactic, or, that the weight or the responsibility is even, for both people or for anyone who is involved in this. I think that everything is more like expected of hers. I don't know if there's like a character and her character is like, yeah, the protagonist, so she has to step up and just deal with very heavy responsibilities, and or maybe her character is really heavy to play, but I see her doing extra hours or doing extra work, where actually she shouldn't. Like, there should be someone else helping her. But I don't know, could it be that she's part of a show or a project where she's like the most famous one or something like this? So people expect a lot from her work or from anything that is related to her name. So I see her that she's like, feeling very responsible. She's like, okay, I'm going to carry this, or I'm going to keep supporting this until the end, so it feels like it's going to be a very heavy year, very heavy, very heavy. And probably the results are not going to be that good neither, because we have the five of Pentacles. So definitely there's like, I don't know if this is about sales, or if this is about numbers, or this is about popularity. I think that, is not going to do that well. I see some losses also. So I think that initially, at least the first half of this year, it feels like there's a lot of challenges. There's a lot of hard work, or a lot of expectations on her. People expect a lot from her, or maybe the role that she's playing, is very heavy. It's very heavy, and in we have to do this. And then we have the Chariot. So the Chariot, thank God, thank God. At the end, maybe, after a few months passes, finally she's going to be able to advance from this, and maybe, I think that it has to do with teamwork. Maybe she's working on a project, or she's working with people that they are not helping her. They're actually like dragging her with them, and I think that the best that she can do is move on from this project. Is actually, finish it, and yeah, whatever feedback that they give you is like, well, thank you, it was a great experience, and that's it. And then, she can advance to more pleasing individual kind of activities. Also the Chariot is a very Cancer card, and I think that if I remember correctly, she's a Cancer woman. So I hope, that maybe during Cancer season that she can, go back to work by herself, to work with her image, or to work, with people that are ready to promote her and treat her with the respect that she deserves, or with the, it's not about treat her with respect, but I think that there's something about people being more welcoming to her. I don't know if this is like the fashion industry or something like this, where things feel more pleasant, more like, ladylike, more, the work is more, or the relationships are more, harmonious. You don't have to force your way. It's like as soon as she enters, a building or something like this, she's already been welcomed, or she's already been celebrated. She's already been like, oh my God, you're here, we love you, here, have a seat, we're going to make you feel comfortable, and we're going to give you a lot of great experiences, treating her like a queen, and also probably for certain brands, she does represent, advances, and she does represent someone of value. But I think that in whatever she's working at the moment, it seems like that's the opposite of experiences. I don't know if maybe it's because, she's working on a project or on a series or on a movie where the subject is very heavy. Maybe it's not the lovey-dovey, maybe it's very heavy, or her character has to deal with a lot of, traumatic experiences. But it seems, that it's going to be very much, yeah, we have the Nine of Swords, that is says anxiety. So see, this year, it feels like she is, she's going to do the work, she's going to participate, she's going to do her part, she's going to get involved, but also there's a lot of anxiety. This year is not that comfortable being in her skin. It seems like there's a lot of anxiety, maybe about how things will go, about certain results, about how people view this. I think that she's going to feel the pressure, yes. But I think that also she's very loyal. I think that she will, support this until the end, because she's very hardworking. But there's something about this experience being very uncomfortable. When I wonder if there's like even like physical labor, because with the Ten of Wands, it's like your body feels very tense and very tired. So yeah, maybe she's not used to this kind of roles or something like this. It feels very draining. Okay, guys, I'm going to change this. I have dry. I know I have a lipstick, but I feel it dry. Okay. I'm going to continue with, this is the, I believe this is Chinese, this actress is Ruo Han. Ruo Han. I believe she's the female lead of The Best Thing, the C-drama. Ruo Han. Ruo Han. It's my first time reading for her. Okay, for her, we have the 10 of Wands, we have the Devil, we have the Lovers in the middle, we have the 4 of Swords, and then we have the Tower. And then I have the Page of Swords that it says Curiosity. So, a lot of major arcanas for this girl, for this actress. Was she attached to a contract or something like this? Or is she attached to a contract? Because I feel like, her experience in the industry is not that positive. Starting with the 10 of Wands and the Devil, there's a lot of attachments. There's a lot of contracts, a lot of limitations. Like you are not free. Could it be that they are overworking her, or they are, getting, they are trying to get her to do many things. But it's because there's a contract. And I think that this is not just now. Probably it comes from last year. So this is like a while. She also, just like when I read for the other actress before her, the 10 of Wands, it's also like a lot of expectations on her, as an actress or maybe as a public figure. People expect something, like, I don't know if this is because she's very popular and people have this image of her where, she's amazing. So she must stay, like amazing. And she must be always at the top, and also I think that there's a contract, and also there's like probably a company or someone that is also being toxic about this, about reminding her, like, you cannot lower your standards, you have to always go for, the most successful project, and I think that she's trying her best, to stay, to be successful. But I think that, having all these major arcanas in here, I think that she is, maybe her relationship with fans or with people or with the audience, it's very ambivalent. It's very like, yes, we like you, and then there's people that they don't like her at all. So there's this, with the Lovers, there's this love/hate, of probably she's also stuck, just like I said from, the other actress, Mon Ga Young, that she also got the 10 of Wands. Maybe she's stuck in a sort of role or in an image that people have of her, or when she was like the favorite, or she was like the most popular, and people have high standards on her, and they want her to emulate this or to be better. And somehow I don't see it. I think that she cannot find herself. There's something, with all these major arcana. She had tried, but maybe she didn't have the conditions to do it, because she's attached to a contract, or she's attached to a toxic coworker or a toxic manager or someone that doesn't let her go. So even if they do give her things to do, it's like it's never like, outstanding, or it doesn't shine that much, because she has like she has changed, she's being controlled by others. she's been controlled either by a corporation or someone has use of her image, or there's people that they are like, well, you cannot do this because this is not in your contract, or you have to do this because this is in your contract. So I see her a bit like a bit lost, and also, I have all these major arcana, so it's more about how she feels internally more than action or results. So it's more about, I don't know if also people don't know much about her. She's sort of like a memory, or she is attached to an image or to a character of hers, maybe a character that she played. And people are like, oh yeah, I remember her because she's this beautiful girl, and yeah, that's who she is. And she's probably like in the middle, not knowing, what roles to take later because she's stuck. She also could be a bit of a people's pleaser. I have the Lovers in here, so I'm like, she could be a bit, I don't want to say passive, but there's something just very Venusian and just very, just very pleasant of her. She doesn't like, she's not that, it's not that she's not ambitious. It's just that she doesn't like to force things, or she doesn't like to, being, knocking on everyone's door and being like, can you please hire me? She's more Venusian, she's gentle, she's more like agreeable, she likes to be on a good page with people, that she works with. She values good relationships, and good manners. So I see a bit slow her process this year. Like, I think that she's still trying to find, maybe what her next step is going to be. I think that she has good relationships with colleagues, probably because we have the Lovers. So there's something that, in spite of all these limitations, the appeal of her, or the, what she's known for, or her talents, she's still very desirable, I would say. And with the Lovers also, she can, seduce the audience again, or she has the potential of, if she goes into something new, of seducing the audience again, or getting more fans, getting more people on her side, gaining more popularity. It's just that I feel her very restrictive, a bit lost even. See, we have the Four of Swords and we have the Tower. So the Four of Swords is like a hiatus, her somehow being in a sort of like, not a hiatus, but probably not being able to do much. And the Tower is like that something from the exterior is going to happen, like something from, circumstances that are outside her control are going to happen, that is going to break this inactivity, I would say, or this part of her just feeling like she cannot advance in her career or in her life even. Because I feel like this is about every aspect of hers. She feels very inactive. I don't know why. She's like somehow waiting for someone, like, she's waiting for, I don't know if she's waiting for a proposition or she's waiting for someone to come with an idea, but she's like somehow waiting. And I think that it's going to come very abruptly, and probably it's not going to be that nice. It's going to be like, okay, we need you. We need you. You're going to start working for us, and it's going to happen just like this. And her being like, okay, where am I going? What am I going to do? But I don't see her like being like, I have to get going. No, because she probably is a bit exhausted about something. So I wonder if people online, if they harass her or something like this, because she starts with the Ten of Wands and the Lover and the Devil. So there's something about people not letting her go, and it's so difficult for her to set boundaries as well. So I'm like, she has to build like better character, because I see her very just that she doesn't have support, and she's also very limited in what she can do. or she cannot choose freely. But Paige absorbs curiosity. So yeah, whatever they are going to interrupt her and be like, okay, we need you to work in this with us, it's going to be a new project. And she's probably is going to start feeling curious about this. I mean, like, what is this? Somehow not expecting to get this or to get this opportunity, and maybe it's not her style, but it's slowly going to help her get out of this. Why do I want to say inactivity? Like inactivity or sort of hiatus. But I don't feel like she's like, oh my God, like I'm just stuck in here. No, for her it's like, for her it's like, whatever happens, it's because it's meant to be. Or whatever appears, it's because it's meant to be. She's not close to the idea of, going to a new project. It's just that something is going to fall, or she's going to get an offer that was declined by someone else. So it's like, thanks to someone's chaos, she's going to get her opportunity. She was criticized for her looks? Oh, wow. Well, people these days, But yeah, it feels like, she's a bit drained, like, oh, when you're like, oh my God, I don't want to go. I don't want to go and face this again. Okay, I'm going to go with Kim Taeri. Let's see, Kim Taeri. What is going on in the Korean industry? We have the 5 of Wands, so a lot of people fighting. Like, what is, like, there's a lot of like people fighting, and I'm like, why are you fighting? If you are creating something, why are you fighting? Yeah. Okay, for Kim Taeri, we have 10 of Cups, we have the High Priestess, we have the Hangman in the middle, we have the 2 of Wands, and we have the 5 of Wands. And then I have the Page of Wands that it says exploration. Is Kim Taeri an Aries? Is she an Aries woman? Because I see that her energy, I think that she's so passionate about her work. She's so passionate. I wonder if she's much more than an actress. Maybe if you guys are fans, maybe you don't know. Because I see that she puts her body and she puts her presence and she puts her willpower, her strength to these projects that she's going to be launching. I don't see that she's like she's like these actresses that you're like, okay, I'm going to sit here and rehearse my part and just read the script and get in my character. I think that she does more. I don't know if she gets, if she gets into the production, or if she does, labor work or something like this, where she actually gets involved physically. It's like, okay, we have to finish this, so let's get this, let's move these equipments. I think that she's very tough. She's very tough. She's very passionate. She's a very passionate person. I see that she probably, I think that there's something about her that she doesn't want to be comfortable. She doesn't want roles that feel comfortable. She wants to get her hands, dirty. She wants to get, she wants to go into the field, into the battlefield, and she wants to get all dirty, literally. I think that she's very hardworking and she's very passionate, and her body goes through a sort of transformation when she starts working. She's a force also. I see that she's fearless. She's fearless. If she has to fight someone or she has to do risky scenes, she will do them all. She will do them all. She doesn't care for etiquette. She's not like, oh, do I look pretty like this? No, she's like, no, let's get this going. Yeah, I can kind of, this is why I have the 5 wands in here. I can kind of see her in a sort of project that it's about competing with others. It's about even fighting others or defeating others. And she's having so much fun with this. I don't know if it's like a K-drama or if it's like a movie. It could be even like a competition, like a variety show, and her going in it and wanting to win. She wants to put her body to the test. Definitely. I can see it. She's like, I'm much more than a pretty face. I can do much more than, she's like, I don't know why I feel like this. I feel like she's like, I'm as strong as a man. Something like this. Is she a bit of a tomboy? Is she a bit on the, this is why I'm getting, is she an Aries? Because I'm like, there's something masculine in there. Has she ever played a boy? Has she ever played a role where she acted like a man? Or she pretended to be a guy? I don't know why I feel like this, but yeah, it started with the 10 of Cups and the High Priestess. I see that, is she married? Does she have like a partner, like a very stable relationship, but actually it's very hidden? We have the High Priestess, so this is hidden. But there's something about her family life or her, her personal life being very fulfilling. She actually, I think that she's very happy personally, like privately, in her private life, she's a very happy person. It's just that, I mean, she has her people, she has her family, she has her loved ones, and so there's something that she's like, I prefer it like this. I prefer that people don't know about this. And she's very serious about this, about, I don't want people to know. So this, my happiness is like, I'm happy. Like, I think that there's something just very confident about her, but also is that she's very happy, that she has her emotional needs are all met, and I think that she has been happy for a while. But she's also very protective of her happiness. She's like, the audience doesn't have to know. But yeah, in the middle we have the Hangman. So I think that she's definitely saving energy because she's like observing or she's like analyzing something. Maybe she's like taking a break or sort of a pause to be like, I want to see my new project, but first I need to stop. I need to stop, observe. When she wants to, she's patient. And I think that this year is about being strategic. She's not, honestly, this is not a person that she's not chasing popularity nor awards, no, because she has done her work. She has done very well. But I think that her period of, introspection and observation, just staying chill and just observing and not doing anything is not going to last that long. She's going to get into a new passionate project. She's going to get into a new passionate project. She's going to start working again. It's just that I think that it's very interesting, probably her family life, when she is with her loved ones in privacy. She's actually very chill. She's a person that she's like, okay, I said I'm going to take a break, from working or from doing my part. And she's like all zen, she's like, yes, I love my life, I love my people, I don't want to leave my house, I'm happy like this, I'm meditating, everything is so cool, it's so, but then, then something happens that she feels so reactive. She's like, I have to get on that project. I want to be in it, and I'm going to be in it, and I'm going to be the best, so so it feels like, her patience or her peaceful life don't last that long. She can take a break of 3 to 5 months, and then she's going to reappear. But there must be something about this project that is super exciting, because she's like, I want to be in there. I want to be there. Yeah, the page of wands, exploration. Exploration. She's so passionate also for doing things. She's like, I want to explore what is out there. I want to do something different also in her career. Probably this role is very different from others that you've seen of her. This is not the same kind of role. This is something that could also push her a bit to the limits of what she had done already. I see a lot of energy, a lot of, confrontation, fighting, something like this. Just, but I think that she is like, this is great for me, because she wants to keep exploring her abilities, to be this very brave, or maybe to have these roles that are very heroic, are very like heroines, or are very like, people that are fighting for their lives, survivors or something like this. She loves that. She loves that. It's like, it's her passion. I think that there's something, her fire lights up every time she thinks about, doing something that, I don't see her, just playing a role where she just has to sit there and look pretty. I think that is not her style. She's so like energetic. And why do I feel like she always wants to fight people? Like she loves, characters that are very challenging. Like they're always fighting, or, being of resistance or something like this. Kim Taeri has an Aries. That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes so much sense. I was like, why do I feel like I'm burning here? Why do I feel like? But burning good, like being excited, good, like being a bit, crazy, but good. Like this is a woman that she's alive, she's alive. She's super cool also. Okay. I'm going to continue with Song Hye Kyo. Song Hye Kyo. Is Song Hye Kyo finally going to get out of the shadows and give us a new series? A new drama, a new K-drama? Not a new drama, a new K-drama. I think that we are going to get a great show coming from her. I see it here. I see it, and I'm so excited because I love the way she acts. Yes. It's just that she's so hermetic. It's like when she doesn't want to leave the house, just let her be. Let her be. It's like when she is in this period of like, I'm not going to be available. She's not available. She's like closed, the company is closed. But yeah. Okay, for Song Hye Kyo, we have the Strength card. We have the Hermit. We have the Ace of Pentacles in the middle. We have the Three of Cups, and we have the Ten of Pentacles. We have the Queen of Cups, that is a sensitivity. Yes, our sensitive queen is going to come back. He's going to come back. It's going to be so great. I don't know what project she's going to be launching this year, but oh my God. Oh my God. There's a lot of money here also, a lot of money. I don't know if she's going to be, working with another, colleague of hers that is also equally as important as her. But I see money. I see money production. Is this going to be on Netflix again? Because it's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. And in here, I can see teamwork. See, in here, I can see that everyone that is going to be involved in this are going to be, are going to see the benefits of belonging or to this project. I think that everyone is going to be successful, not just, I'm talking about Hye Kyo, but, it's like probably a lot of people of the cast, a lot of people that are working in there. I think that I see success. But yeah, I think that finally she's going back, to work. We have the Strength card, and we have the Hierophant. So I think that yes. She's definitely, she's someone that I don't know if she has like social anxiety or something like this, but I think that she needs her time to, pull herself together, especially when she knows that she's going to be, I don't know if she's going to be working on this for a lot of months, or she has been working on this for a lot of months. So I think that for her it's necessary to, control her energy or regulate herself, because probably it's going to be very emotional as well. I don't know if this new work of hers is going to be, because I have the Queen of Cups in here, so it says sensitivity. So I wonder if this is going to be like, her character is going to be like, a lover, a wife, someone that fights for love, or someone that struggles in love, or has their, but it feels emotional. So I think that for her, it's a whole preparation. This is not, she's not someone that she can just go and just work and just do, just get out of a project and go to another. No, I think that she's very selective, with her time, with her energy. She also doesn't like to waste her energy, and she prefers to be alone. She is like a homebody. She's still someone that she keeps working on herself. She keeps, being also very anonymous. She doesn't like to share that much of herself. She likes to study, maybe she goes to therapy. She does her inner work, but I think that there's something about her being like, being on the spotlight is a huge effort from her. Even, the results are all very successful. Honestly, people want to see her, people are waiting for her, and she's very talented. It's just that it demands of her, a lot of work. And I see her that she had been doing this. She had prepared herself, for everything that is coming, because it's going to be big. It's going to be important. We have the Ace of Pentacles in the middle. So a huge success. Three of Cups, great relationship with her co-stars, with the people, with everyone involved. This is why I'm like, this is not about her and her co-star, because I know how people are, every time, they start working on something, oh my God, are they dating? This is about, like a group of people. They probably will form friendships, very real friendships, and I think that, definitely is going to benefit. This is why I'm like, is this going on Netflix or on another platform? Because this is going to bring a lot of money. This is going to bring a lot of money to a lot of companies. So yeah, is this going to be about legacy or something like this? Kind of like this. What was the name of this K drama? Was it Sky Castle? That it was like this. It was all about legacy and everything. It kind of feels like this, but it's going to be very successful. It's going to be very successful, and she's going to be so happy to belong. She's going to feel so happy. She's going to feel like it is worth it, because I think that people have no idea of how much, an actor or an actress have to prepare themselves, mentally, physically, for these roles that demand a lot of sensitivity and they demand a lot of emotions. So for her, it was like she knew it was going to be like this, but, she needed to adjust certain things about herself, her schedule, her life. She needs to have everything in order. She cannot just appear out of nowhere and be like, okay, I'm ready to work. No, she has to mentalize herself. She has to prepare herself. And she does a lot of studying, she does a lot of research. But I think that this is going to be a great project. I see, like I said, I see that this is going to benefit a lot of people. If this is like different stories, different characters, I think that this kind of project is going to mean success or breakthrough or more opportunities for people that are going to be working in this, because whatever she touches is gold. Is gold. This is why she's so selective about what she's going to do next. Okay, I'm going to continue with Yoona. Let's see, Yoona. Very nice for Yoona as well. Is she going to launch something as well? More on the later part of the year, but I can see success for her as well. Okay. For you now, we have 7 of Pentacles, we have the Page of Pentacles, we have the Temperance in the middle, we have the Queen of Cups, and we have the Ace of Pentacles. And then we have the Tower, upheaval. So yeah, I think that definitely, with the Tower, probably this year, there's certain foundations or old foundations or old realities of Yoona that they are starting to fall apart. Maybe, there could be discoveries or, her discovering certain truths, about the people that she knows or about, the industry that she's under. I think that there's a lot of movement around her, a lot of things that are no longer, well, is she still under SM or not? Because the Tower could be SM, literally. But I think that it's not like it affects her directly, because the cards are very positive, are very bright. But also the Tower, with the card of upheaval, definitely it lets me know that around her there's a lot of things that are changing, a lot of things are falling apart, things are not that stable as they used to, or maybe her feeling, like certain connections or certain relationships are not that that stable like she thought that they used to be, but it's just that there's something just very very healthy about Yoona, is that she keeps working on herself. She keeps investing on herself, even if there's certain, uncomfortable moments, and even if the world is falling apart, she's like, I'm focused on me. I'm focusing on cultivating, my talent, on growing my talents, on studying, starting over, studying a new craft, learning something new, learning new skills. She's very focused on keep growing and keep being better and better and better, and maybe she gets feedbacks, and she's like, well, people didn't like this of me, I'm going to get better. So I think that it's her own hardworking nature. She doesn't lose sight of what is important, and for her, it's important to be better, to feel better, to recuperate. She's very. I don't know if this is about her health. Her. Also taking care of her health. And just being healthy. But I do see the temperance in the middle, so definitely she's recovering from something. She's like taking a break, taking it slowly, maybe changing her routines, sticking to a routine, taking care of her body. I think that it has to do with health. It has to do with mental health also. Just not letting other people's anxiety or other people's problems, or I think that she's like, I'm starting from me. I'm the one that can make the change, and I think that a lot of people should follow her advice. And I don't think that it's an advice, because I don't think that she's like, I'm going to let people know, this, that I'm trying this new technique, and I'm going to let everyone know that I'm feeling better. No, I think that she's like, I do what is best for me, or what I think that works for me. And then, yeah, if I get good results, if you want to know, I can share it with you. She can even share it with the fans, because she's that open. But I think that there's something about people not wanting to put the work. Honestly, like if you see Yoona, if I see Yoona, and this is why I have the tower in here, because I can see, maybe people that she knows, or people that are really close to her, that she had known all her life. Everyone is falling apart. Everyone is freaking out. Everyone is having like a nervous breakdown, but she's not, because she had always been consistent with like, how can I improve? How can I be better? Okay, I'm going to start this, and it's going to take a while. It's not that I'm going to see results right away, but at least I'm trying. I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to stay in a positive mindset. I think that she is just, this year it feels like, um, she's like also being more understanding, more empathic towards other people's, experiences. Usually for Yoona, I know that she's a Gemini, but she often gets also a lot of swords, a lot of queen of swords, like, yeah, I'm going to speak up, and I'm going to, study, and I'm going to, and I have a great memory. She's very fast, she's very sharp. But this year, I think that she's more focusing on, I want to be better. I want to be in the here and now. I'm not rushing. I'm not running after, oh, I want this chance. I want this job. I want this role. No, she's like, I already done my part. I'm already investing into, maybe it's new work. It could be, for me, it's like, it could be, acting, but it could also be, I don't know if it's music, or if it's, her, having her own company, or building something literally from zero, from scratch. But I see that there's a lot of work, and she's not promoting this. She's not like, oh guys, look at me, look at, what I'm doing. No, she's like silently doing her part. She's doing her part. She's getting involved. But I think that she's like, probably being okay, or, her well-being is her priority this year. Is being balanced. It's like she doesn't want no negativity, no disbalance, no. She's like, I need to be okay. Also, the Queen of Cups, see, and the Ace of Pentacles. I think that there's a new role coming for her, but I think that if this is like a new role for her, it also would be a character that is also much more emotional than the usual characters that she plays. She could also be like a mother figure, or like a teacher, or something like this. So this is why somehow she's maybe like studying, or she's going more towards, I don't know why I want to say like holistic kind of places, to get more in touch with emotions, because I can see that she wants to build something with this. She wants to create something long-lasting with this. And I see her being very successful. I see her being very successful at this. I think that she's also thinking about like, okay, if I'm a role model, I want to see what kind of role model I can be, or if I can be guidance for others. But yeah, things honestly around her everything is upheaval, everything is drama. So she's like, no, I just want to be at peace. Just let me be. Let me be. It's like she has been around for a very long time, so she's not surprised. She's not surprised about, what people are going through. She's like, I'm not surprised. But, I think that that's a very healthy mentality of like, well, I'm working on me. I don't know about you guys, but I'm investing on me. Okay. I'm going to continue with Kim Jiwon. Oh my. What is going on with Kim Jiwon? Well. Okay, we have the Six of Cups. We have the Ten of Swords. We have the Knight of Wands in the middle. We have the Eight of Swords. And then we have the Four of Swords. And then I have the Death card that it says let go. Yeah, honestly, I would advise her to let go of whatever suffering this is. But it's just that it's very overwhelming. It's not that easy. It's like if someone is going through something, it's not going to stop just because you say, let it go. It's not that simple. It's not that simple. Has she been dealing with some kind of anxiety, depression, something like this? Because I have a lot of swords in here. So I think that this is not about her physical body, or this is not about her, environment. I think that this is more about something happened in the past. Definitely, I have the Six of Cups and I have the Ten of Swords. So something happened that traumatized her. Something happened that sort of she got stuck in time with this sorrow, or with this agony, or with this overthinking. And it's related to her past. It's related to her past. And I think that it's really hard for her to keep advancing. I wonder if the fans do the fans know something about this, because it's affecting her very much. So I'm like, why? And also in the middle I have the Knight of Wands. So definitely it has to do with about a man. It's literally about a man. Is this man, and also this man keeps showing up. Like he keeps like I think that when I say showing up, I mean in the sense of the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is probably this person that keeps reminding her of the past. This is why she cannot let go, because somehow this man keeps like talking to her. Maybe he is from her past, and he keeps going back to remember when this happened, or remember when we were together, or remember when, and he's insisting, and he's like pushing it. And I think that for her it's like, no, please leave me alone. But he definitely seems very intense, like the type of person that he's like, even when you tell him to leave him alone, he seems to be very erratic, very irrational or very erratic or even a bit, I don't want to say like dangerous, but he seems very reactive. And probably he's angry, that she is not responding, or she's not talking to him, or she's ignoring him. But it's because of something that happened in the past. I think that she was traumatized about something. Something happened between the two of them that she's like, well, this is, this is it. This is like, this was too much for me to bear, and and he keeps going at it. He keeps like wanting to reach out to her and talk about it, or talk about what happened in the past. And I think that for her, it's like, this is something that I believe I said about her when I read for her a couple of years ago. I don't know if 1 or 2 years, that I think that she has an issue with putting boundaries. Because I'm like, why is this man here, like pushing it? Why does he keep tormenting you? Like, and why is he still in the picture? Why he has access to you? Even if this is like messages, because there's a lot of sorts. So if this causes you such an agony, or if this is like really like messing up with your, with your peace or with your mental health, like you should really, I don't know, you should get away from him. You should move. I don't know, but why does he have access? Because the Knight of Wands is also someone that is like, I'm going to show up at the door of your house in the middle of the night, and I'm going to go and see you, and I'm going to go and find you. It feels like very like scary, even. But why? Why, is it like this? We have then, afterwards, we also have more swords, the 8 of Swords and the 4 of Swords. So I think that she's sort of caught up, mentally. She's a bit scared, or she's a bit like, affected, that she thinks that she cannot, survive this, or she cannot, get away from him. But I think that it's, like I said at the beginning, it's not like it's easier said than done, to be like, okay, just cut it, just like the death card, finish it, let it go, just, do what you have to do, but change. Don't stay in the same, because if you stay in the same state, or if you stay in the same place, even, he's going to find you. So I would say it's more about, like, she has to find clarity, because maybe this is something that she's struggling with this all alone. She doesn't talk to others. She doesn't reach out to others. It's only something that she has with him. And maybe it's like a toxic ex-partner or something like this, but I feel like, why dragging her to this? I don't know. I think that this is just, this cannot continue like this. Like, why does this person have so much control over her? And I'm like, what about her work? What about her social life? What about, her life, her activities? I don't see movement. I just see that, she is a bit, traumatized by this person. She's probably scared of this person even. But maybe, this is a relationship, where you cannot just, leave the other person. You're just stuck, or you're just in love, or you're just, you still have feelings for each other. She's not over this person yet. But she's, I'm like, with all these swords, I'm not seeing that she's like, okay, not at all. And also she blames herself a lot. This is why it needs to have the intervention of someone that can, somehow let her know that you do have a way out of this. It's just that, you have to be very patient also with her, because she does blame herself a lot. So in some parts she's like, I know it's my fault, I know that I'm like this because, you know, it's me the one, you know, that allows this. So it's about also getting her out of this victim mentality. I wonder if she had like a bad experience with a sort of like, and this is not, because I know that when I say this and when I say, oh, there's a man in here, people instantly, because, you know, they live in these K-drama fantasies, people instantly think of like, oh, a co-star. I'm sure this is this actor or the other actor, and you know, and everything is romanticized like this. I think that also this could be like a former boss of her, you know, like someone that worked with her, but it's not like, you know, this could be someone just, you know, being abusive, or just being, you know, a bad boss, or, you know, a bad CEO, or, you know, someone that had a certain control over her and that wasn't that nice, you know, that actually is very aggressive, and somehow is making her feel guilty, you know. So because, yeah, feelings I don't see, it's not about feelings, it's more like perceptions. Like, I think that, you know, I cannot get out of this because, you know, it's more about like, I'm tired. But they do have history, they do have a past together, because the Six of Cups is like, this had happened before, you know, and she's sort of trapped in this. But yeah, this year, you know, with the Death card, let go, you know, there has to be a change, there has to be you know, an interruption of this cannot continue. She cannot continue sustaining this relationship or this connection, you know. But I'm worried about this. It's not like, oh well, you know, she's just anxious. No, this is heavy. Mm. Mm-hmm. Yes, I feel like it's more like this. Yes. Yeah, because it's not like, you know, like, oh my, like there's this handsome oppa in here that is following her around. No, it's different. Yeah, it's sinister. Yeah. Just that I wonder why she doesn't reach out to someone, or why she doesn't tell this to someone, you know, like what past do they have together, you know, like that she feels like she cannot, you know, get out of this. Ah, maybe it's that. Yeah, maybe it's that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this year she has to take the risk, but she has to let go. Yeah, it doesn't matter what if they try to convince her. Like, she has to be brave. She has to be brave. She has to change. She has to, you know, change her circumstances, surround yourself with other people. You know, I see her very isolated, you know, and that's what's worrying. This is why this person has a hold of her, because it seems like she doesn't talk about this with other people. She's alone. And that's very dangerous, you know, because it seems like she's not saying anything. Also, it's been a while, you know. How many years has it been since we had been like waiting for her? I think that the other day I saw that she was at the airport. Could it be? She looked really pretty. But when it comes to her work, how long has it been since we seen her in a K-drama? How long has it been? 2 years? 2. Actually, she's my favorite. Like, I was like, why? Every time I choose a favorite, she disappears. But I really, when someone told me that she was working on something, I was like, oh, yes, finally. Oh, yes, go, Fluffy. Thank you for being here. Yeah, I have the last one, and then I'm going to go, guys. Okay. Going to read for the Chinese actress Zhao Jinmai. Zhao Jinmai. Okay. Okay, for this actress, Zhao Jinmai, we have the 10 of Pentacles, we have the 3 of Swords, have the 4 of Wands in the middle, we have the Hermit, and then we have the Moon. A lot of major arcanas for these ladies, some of them, and I'm like, they really are like doing some personal work. We have the Wheel of Fortune, cycles. So yeah, she's doing okay, but I think that there's a lot of like also, this year it feels like she's going to take it slow when it comes to decisions, because there's something about her surroundings that she's also not sure about, like who to trust. She's also like maybe looking for independence, or she's looking for, maybe another kind of deal. And so she's like being patient about this, because her year is actually is looking good. I think that she can be participating in social events and everything, but when it comes to work and her future in the profession, there's a lot of like things that are not clear. And she's like, I need to take my time to look at this very well, to study this very well, because she doesn't want to be fooled. I think that she, starting with the 10 of Pentacles and the 3 of Swords, I wonder if she had also an issue with the company, an agency of hers, or a company of hers, or people that worked with her. Because there had been, certain disappointments in this. And I think that for her, it felt like a betrayal. It felt like maybe she trusted a project, or she trusted a company or something, and they just weren't that good for her. So she's still, resenting a bit. It's just that maybe this company didn't make the best decision for her. Maybe what they decided for her to do, it was more beneficial for them than for her. So I can kind of see her, having to deal with the consequences, and her not being dissatisfied, because maybe she expected. I think that also the 10 of Pentacles definitely talks about her legacy, and it talks maybe about her value as an actress. So maybe, I don't know if she had a sort of a past role or a past project that didn't do very well. And I think that for her, it's hard to not take it personal. She's like, oh, really, you guys, like, you didn't like this that I did, but I poured my heart and soul into this. But I think that, these are things that she cannot control. Maybe, she didn't have the support, or there was something about, the creation or the production that just wasn't very satisfying for people. So I think that she's like, well, next time I'm going to, maybe review offers better. But she's so happy. I think that when it comes to, her presence, her life in general, she seems to be having a lot of fun. And I think that instead of focusing on work and just being working all the time, I think that she's looking forward more to, I want to go and have fun. I don't know how old she is, but there's something about her wanting to go out, wanting to be social, wanting to, go places and have a great time, or maybe promoting something, but just that it doesn't feel that heavy, like an obligation, like a work, like literally like you have to work a lot of hours. Like she wants to have fun. I think that there's something about her being like, I want to be social, and I don't want to feel like, oh, because I'm working and I cannot rest well, or I cannot, I cannot move freely. I have to wait for people to tell me where I have to go or when I can go. And I think that she's like, I want to be free. She probably wants to spend more time with her friends and just being a person of her age. This is why, I was like, I wonder how old she is, because there's something about her being like, I want to have fun, like women of my age or like my friends, I want to be more social. I want to go dancing, or I want to go to public places without feeling like, everyone is chasing me, or that there's people, in the darkness. Because definitely, we have and when I see darkness, I see these two cars, and I'm like, yeah, the nighttime, it has come. Because I think that she can enjoy, certain days of vacation or something like this, her going out for a bit, but then she's going to have to, take care of herself, and maybe, I don't want to say hide, it's like, it's not like she cannot go out, but I think that there's something about her life, or maybe her future decisions. She needs to study and analyze herself very well, or what she wants to do in the future. We have the Hermit, we have the Moon card. So there's a bit of, there's a lot of self-awareness in her. And I think that she's slowly maybe starting to see certain realities, or see certain people act a certain way towards her. And I think that she is still not sure about what it is, but I think that she can prevent, future disappointments, if she somehow allows herself to not be that impressed by, by the spotlight, or by people wanting to be her friends, or people wanting to be near her. There's something that the Hermit is like, why don't you spend some time alone, and you analyze yourself, or you analyze your career, or you analyze your friendships, your connections, and just see what is better for you, or what is good for you, or what you want to do next. Because definitely there's something, about loneliness. There's something about maybe the people that she thought that she could trust, or the people that she thought that were part of her life. They are not there. They are being fishy. They are, she wants to talk to them and she cannot reach them. They are MIA. So I think that everything that is happening, that somehow is keeping her in the dark, and she doesn't know how to explain that she doesn't trust this, and that there's something funny in the background, that maybe, certain people that they call themselves friends, they are really not her friends, and I think that for her, this is like a very heavy, experience, or analysis to do, because, I think that she's a very social person. She's a very, vibrant person. This is why we have the four ones in the middle. She loves to be social, or she loves to hanging out with people, or she loves to have a good time. So maybe, starting to notice that actually, she's more lonely than what she thought, and that actually, yeah, when there's fame and there's, a lot of flashlights, everyone wants to be your friend, but then when you are on your own, no one is there, everyone is absent, no one can make it. So I think that she has a lot to review about loneliness. And also I think that there's something that she doesn't have to fear loneliness. I think that being by herself, it's okay, because she will not be influenced then by other people's opinions, because I think that she's also evaluating her professional future. She wants to choose what is right for her, and maybe being surrounded by a lot of people, a lot of noise, a lot of background music, a lot of fakeness, I must say. Maybe there's a lot of glamour and a lot of people pretending. So I think that she is slowly starting to notice certain patterns, and starting to notice that maybe, not everyone is a real friend, or not everyone is telling her the truth. So she has to change that, even if it hurts. She has to change that. The Wheel of Fortune, this is a cycle. This is not about our girl being alone, no. But I think that there's something about the others not being able to help her this time. She has to be on her own to review, or reveal certain truths. There's a bit of silence in here. I don't know. It seems like, when everything is happy, and after the party is over, and like everyone goes home, and there's this silence, this sort of like, okay, where is everyone? And I think that for her, this is it's very hard to accept, but I think that it's part of growing. It's part of growing up. Oh, okay, guys. I did all the readings for today. Thank you to everyone that is joining, that had joined the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. Yes, and I will see you next Wednesday if everything goes well. Yes, so thank you so much for being here. Have a lovely Sunday. And yes, I was going to tell you, have a lovely Sunday, rest of the Sunday. Today is Saturday, but yes, enjoy your Sunday. Yes, I will see you on Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining and watching. Bye.